Hello, good morning to everyone. My name is Mr. Ito Avugla. I'm a mathematics teacher in Tabarak School, private school, and because of the coronavirus pandemic going throughout the whole country, the Ministry of Education has shut down the school, and our chairman in the Tabarak private school, Mr. Yunus, has introduced a new system of teaching the students through the e-teaching. We thank him for this new system. Now, I'm going to teach the grade 8 student the lesson about ratio and proportion. Quickly, I want to start by introducing to the student what is ratio. Ratio are comparisons made between two sets of numbers. Not necessarily between two, but is between two or more numbers. Now, for example, there are 8 girls and 7 boys in the class. What is the ratio of girls to boy? The ratio of girls to boy is 8 to 7. We are going to compare two numbers here, which are 8 and 7. We have 8 girls and 7 boys. So the ratio is 8 to 7. Ratios are used every day. They are used for miles per hours, the cost of item per pound, gallon, the hours rate of paid. The most important things to emphasize on in this topic is about how to write ratios. We have 3 ways of writing ratios. The first way is to use the word to. For example, we have 8 girls and 5 boys in the class. What is the ratio of girls to boy? The ratio is what? It's 8 girls to 5 boys. And how do you write it? We write it 8 to 5. So the first way is to use the word to. Now the second way is what? Write a ratio using a colon between the two numbers being compared. There are 3 apples and 4 oranges in the basket. What is the ratio of apple to oranges? So here the second way is to use the colon, which is what? We have 3 apples to 4 oranges. So we write it to a 3 colon 4, but we read it 3 to 4. And the third way is to write the ratio as a fraction. In the example, Hunter and Brandon were playing basketball. Brandon scored 5 baskets and Hunter scored 6 baskets. What was the ratio of basket Hunter scored to the basket Brandon scored? So this is the third way of writing ratios. We have 6 baskets to 5 baskets. And the third way is about fraction. We write it as a fraction, so we have 6 out of 5. Now here we have a guided practice. And the direction is to write the ratio in 3 different ways. There are 13 boys and 70 girls in 6th grade. Find the ratio of boys to the girls in 6th grade. By using the 3 ways that we know, the first way is 13 to 17. The second is 13 to 17 by using the colon sign. And the third one is 13 out of 17 by using the fraction way. Rules for solving ratio problems. When writing ratios, the numbers should be in the order in which the problem asks for them. For example, there are 4 girls and 7 boys at the birthday party. What is the ratio of girls to boy? 4 girls and 7 boys at the birthday party. Now the hint is to ask questions to the girls to boys. Therefore, girls will be listed first in the ratio. So, as I said it earlier on again, we have 3 ways of writing them. So the first way will be what? 4 girls to 7 boys, and 4 girls to 7 boys by using the colon sign, and 4 girls out of 7 boys by using the fraction way. We also have a guided practice here, and the direction is to solve and write ratios in all the 3 forms. The Panthers played 15 games this season. They won 13 games. What is the ratio of game 1 to games played? The questions ask for game 1 to game played. So we have 13 to 15. 13 to 15 as a column sign and 13 out of 15. So here we also have another example. and we'll be using the same way to solve them. And as you can see, the answers in the 3 different methods. Now, we are going to reduce ratios. And how do we reduce ratios? We reduce ratio by simplifying them. All ratios must be in the simplest form, just like fractions. And how do we reduce ratio? We reduce ratios by simplifying them by using the high common factors to simplify them. Here we have 2 boys to 4 girls, which is equivalent to 1 boy to 2 girls. And what did we do here? We reduce the ratio by dividing by 2. All ratios must be written in lowest term. Now this step, we have some steps here to show you how to reduce them to the lowest term. The step 1 is talking about to read the word problem, and the step 2 is to set up the ratio. Now, for example, you score 40 answers correct out of 45 problems on a test. Write a ratio of correct answers of total questions in lowest form. The step 1 is to read the problem. What does it want to know? What does it want to know? Now in the steps 2, you have to set up a ratio, and here we set up the ratio to be 40 to 45. And the step 3 is to reduce the ratio if necessary. So here we have 40 out of 45. By reducing it to the high common factor is 5. So when you reduce it, it becomes 8 out of 9. And here we have so many examples again to show. One of them is about this one. There are 26 black cards in a deck of playing cards. If there are 52 cards in a deck, what is the ratio of black card to the deck of cards? As we said it earlier on, in the step 1 is to read the problem and to know what does the problem want from us. Now, the step 2 is to set up a ratio. Here, when we are setting up the ratio, we have 26 black cards to 52 cards. And the step 3 is to reduce or to put it in the lowest form. 26 out of 52, when we simplify the high common factor here is 26. So when we simplify it, we have 1 over 2. Now, this is generally about ratios. Now, let's come and talk about proportions. What is a proportion, or what are proportions? Proportions are 2 ratios of equal values. Proportions are 2 ratios of equal values. So it means that, what do they mean by 2 ratios by equal values? They are talking about equivalent ratios. For instance, if you have 1 over 4 and 4 over 16, we have what? 2 equivalent ratios set up together becomes proportion. Now, we want to determine true proportion. And how do we determine true proportion? Once again, I want to define or explain what is a proportion for you. Proportion is when we set up 2 equivalent ratios for an equation. So proportion is when we set up 2 equivalent ratios for an equation. So now we want to talk about true proportion. To determine a proportion through cross multiply. If the cross products are equal, then it is a true proportion. Here we have 4 over 5, which is equal to 20 over 25. So when we cross multiply, we have 20 times 5, which is equal to 4 times 25. At the left-hand side, we have 100, and the right-hand side, we also have 100. That shows that we have a true proportion. Now, for the guided practice, they want us to solve to see if each problem is a true proportion. The first one is about 3 over 5, which is equal to 15 over 25. The second is about 6 over 8, which is equal to 57 over 76. And the third one is 7 over 12, which is equal to 37 over 60. Now for the guided practice, as we can see, the first one, when we cross multiply, we have 15 times 5 at the left-hand side, which is equal to 3 times 25 at the right-hand side. And both left-hand side and right-hand side are all given 75, which means that we have a true proportion. In the second one too, we have 456 at the left-hand side and 456 at the right-hand side, which shows that we have a true proportion, but the third one is wrong. Why? Because at the left-hand side we have 420 and the right-hand side we have 444. Now, we are going to solve proportion with variables. What is a variable? A variable is any letter that takes place of a missing number of information. Now, how do we solve it? As we know, we are going to set up the proportion that the way I said it as an equation. Let me just quickly explain with this example. The first thing is to cross multiply and divide both sides by the number connected to the variable, and the third one is to check the answer to see if it makes a true proportion. Now, we have a problem here, a problem which said what? Eric rode his bicycle a total of 52 miles in 4 hours. Riding at this same time rate, how far can he travel in 7 hours? By setting out the proportion, we have 52 over 4, which is equal to n over 7. Thank you very much. And here, the value of the n is going to be 91 miles. Why? Because we have 4n over 4, which is equal to 364 over 4. And the value of n is going to 91 miles. Thank you for everyone for listening to or for watching the presentation. And there will be a homework available on Moodle for you to practice yourself. And once again, I thank the chairman of the school for giving us this opportunity to express ourselves and to teach the students via this e-teaching. Thank you and bye.